welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my November wrap-up and going over the 7 books I read this month. The first book I read in the month of November was Labyrinth, Lost by Zoraida, Cordova. This book follows a teenage bruja named Alex who wants to get rid of her magic. However, her plan backfires and her entire family is sent to this other world, and the rest of the book is her having to go on this adventure to rescue them. I really loved the world that she travels to. It has some really cool mythology and creatures, and I love the culture that was tied into her journey. I also thought that there were some really great diverse characters in both cultures, races, and identities. My only complaint about this book is I wasn't really in love with the writing style, or her character wasn't my favorite, and I didn't really like the twist at the end. The second book I read this month was The Diviners by Libba Bray. This is a magic mystery set in the 1920s. Evie O'Neill moves to New York City and there are people who are getting murdered. But Evie has this gift where she touches an object, she can get like memories and flashbacks from the owner of the object. And she is able to use this gift to like try and solve this mystery of who's like murdering these people. And in the book there's also other diviners who are characters with magical powers. The only thing is it seems a little convenient that all these people with magical powers like know each other but none of them know about each other's powers. That just kind of bugged me. But I absolutely love the characters in this book. Specifically, I'm a huge fan of Memphis, Evie, and Sam. It's set in the 1920s, but it's still super diverse. It addressed some like really serious issues and topics and handled it very well. There's lots of different races and identities and just like way more diverse than I expected a historical fiction book to be, because I feel sometimes historical fiction isn't that diverse. So like this was really refreshing. I also loved the mystery. Like my heart was beating super fast. And I couldn't put the book down. Like I was reading it for hours straight because I was trying to just like figure out what was happening. It's very atmospheric and magical, and like it got that 20s vibe and slang, and just like definitely sucks you in. My only complaint about this book is that there's like a couple in the book that I really didn't like. I don't ship them. I didn't want them to get together, and they kind of do, and I was mad. But other than that, I would have given this book, I hated this couple so much that that's the only reason I didn't give them 5 stars. This book, like it would have been 5 stars except for that part. Like it didn't ruin the book because the book is still really good and I really enjoyed it, but like it could have been perfect. Not perfect, but it could have been really close to perfect. But I don't like them. The next book I read this month was Don't Date Rosa Santos by Moreno. This is a contemporary book about a girl named Rosa who is trying to save her hometown. It was super cute and I love the family relationships and also Rosa's relationship with her Cuban culture. It was a really fun read. The next book I read was Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo. This is the second book in the Grishaverse series. The series is about this girl named Alina who finds out she's a Grisha who has like this gift for conjuring like sunlight and like light. She's like the sun person. And there's this guy named the Darkling who's like the opposite of her. He's like shadow conjurer. He's the bad guy. And in this second book, her and her boyfriend, kind of, Mal, are on the run from the Darkling, who's like trying to capture her. One of my favorite parts of this series is the idea of the amplifiers and like the mythological creatures they're tied to. That's like the thing I'm most interested in this series. Everyone who's read this series like hypes up Nikolai. Like Nikolai is like everyone's favorite character. And I have to say, he really didn't disappoint. Like, there's definitely a reason he's everyone's favorite, and it's because he's the best. I don't like Mal. A lot of people don't like Mal. I agree with them. Just, like, I think he holds Alina back, and I would love Alina except for, like, her relationship and feelings towards Mal. Like, I think she could grow so much as a character if she really, like, embraced being the hero, but she doesn't. I'm hoping to read the 3rd book soon. I have it checked out from the library, so I decided to read this series because there is a television show coming out. I also need to finish the Six of Crows duology before the series comes out. I've seen the cast and they're all super cute and supportive of each other, and like I'm so excited just because of like just watching them on the internet. They're so great. And the next book I read is Two Dark Reigns by Kendare. This is the third book in the Dark Crown series, which is set in this fantasy world where people have magical gifts. And there are 3 triplet queens who each have a different gift, and they have to compete because only one of them can become like the queen of the whole country. I started this series this year, and I've been devout, and I really love them. At the same time, I don't love them because I have a lot of issues and things that make me mad, and like parts where I'm like, I don't even enjoy this, but at the same time, I'm like so invested in the world, in the story, and these characters, like I can't put them down, and I want to like live in this world forever. Like it's so the political strategy and drama and romance, like I'm so sucked in. My favorite character is Arsinoe. I adore her. And I've always really liked Catherine's story. Like, I don't love Catherine, but her storyline is always super interesting. And my other favorite character besides Arsinoe is Jules, who is like her best friend, and she's just super cool. In the third book, I really felt like Catherine's story was super interesting. I also loved Jules' storyline. Like that was really exciting. I was a little disappointed because I felt like Arsinoe and Mirabella's storyline was probably the weakest part of the book for me, and Arsinoe's my favorite character, so like I didn't love that. But I'm nervous for the next book, which I'll hopefully read soon. But at the same time, I'm kind of putting off reading it because it's the last one, and I don't really want the series to be over because like I love these girls. The next book I picked up was The Wicked King by Holly Black. This is the sequel to The Cruel Prince. So this series is about this girl named Jude. She's a human girl, but she grows up in Fae and is raised around all these fairy people. And they kind of like pick on her and put her down a lot, but she's super ambitious and like really wants to like find her place and prove her worth and like have more power in the world because she hates being like this weak human. I really enjoy how ambitious she is, and I love like all her planning and scheming. Like I think she's kind of a really fun, cool character, very like Slytherin-y. She has this love-hate relationship with this Prince Carden, and that's like it seems like that should be from like the titles and stuff. I kind of assumed that would be like the main plot of the book, but really it's more just about like that is a huge part of the book is Carden and Jude's relationship, but I feel like it's more about just Jude and her relationship with herself and with the world. What I really enjoy in these books is the political drama and like the twists, trying to figure out what's gonna happen next. And all the scheming. I just love the scheming. I also really enjoy the Carden Jude romance. One thing I really enjoy about this book is this is just a book you can fly through. Like I sat down to read a chapter or two, and the next thing I knew, I was halfway through the book. Like it's super fast read, even though it's like it's not a huge book, but like it just goes by really fast, and I enjoyed that. The third book came out recently. I have no idea when I'll get to it. I don't know, I've heard some people love it, other people hate it. I've already heard like a couple spoilers, so that's probably, if I hadn't heard anything, I would definitely be trying to get it like right now, but I've already kind of heard some spoilers, and it's made me like, I want to see if I can put it off so I forget what's gonna happen, because my favorite part of these books are the twists. There's some great twists that Holly Black writes, and I want to experience those twists. So I'm waiting that hopefully I will forget the spoilers, and then I'll still get to be surprised by the twists, because that's my hope, that's my plan. So that's why I haven't read Queen of Nothing yet. The last book that I read in the month of November was The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy by McKenzi Leigh. This is the sequel to The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, which I loved. But this book, The Lady's Guide, can really still stand on its own. Like, you don't have to read, I would say you don't necessarily have to read The Gentleman's Guide to read The Lady's Guide. They're just kind of like tied together. It's not like a direct sequel. This book is a historical fiction set in the 1700s, following Felicity Montague, who wants nothing more than to become a doctor. However, there are a lot of obstacles in her way because she's a woman. Felicity ends up going on this adventure with 2 other girls, and as she's like trying to, like, it's not only like in The Gentleman's Guide, there's like this mystery that comes up, so they're trying to like figure this thing out. So Felicity and these two other girls go on this adventure, and what I really liked about this book is just like the feminist themes and the girl power. My favorite thing was that there's like these three different girl characters, and they're all very different, and they showed how like feminism can look different on different people. Like they're all still feminist even though they have various personalities and takes on it. Like I really like one thing I really liked, it talks about how you can be feminine and kind and also independent and smart. Like you don't have to just be one way. Like you don't have to be physically strong to be like a strong woman. Like you can still love dogs and pretty dresses and still be like super independent and feminist. I feel like a lot of our like strong heroine characters aren't always like, they're portrayed as like strong outwardly always, but like that doesn't have to be the case. And I really liked especially Joanna in this book. She was my favorite character just because she was like a super different side of feminism that we really don't see as often. I also really like how it addressed girl on girl hate and how there's no need in that, or like comparing ourselves to others. And I love how Felicity throughout the book was able to grow and change her own opinion and view. Like she starts out being super judgy, and like I do like that she's a flawed character, that she is this judgy person, but she kind of learns to see others' point of view and accept it. And like how girls don't need to be in competition with each other and how they should really just be supporting each other. I also really loved seeing characters from the first book. Monty and Percy are adorable, and I loved the scenes that they got to be in. And this was a book that I definitely really enjoyed. I've been on a fantasy kick, like I've only been wanting to read fantasy, but I'm really glad I picked this book up because it was just so cute. And like, even though it's like I've been into fantasy because I wanted to be in other worlds, and while this isn't necessarily another world, it's another time, so it still like transported me somewhere else, and it just did a really great job. Overall, this was a really great reading month for me. I was able to read so many books because I actually went and got a library card. So, library cards are the best. And I honestly can't believe the year is almost over. I feel like overall I've had a pretty decent reading year, and there's so many books I really wish I could read in this last month, but I know finals are coming up and holidays, and it's just not as realistic. But I'm kind of stressed about it. I'm kind of stressed about only 1 month left of reading this year. I'm sad. Thanks for watching. I'm Hazel. This is my channel. Feel free to like or subscribe, or check out any of my other videos. Also tell me what books you read this month. Thanks for watching and happy reading.